My name is Minyoki Molwa.
What makes Kenya special to you?
Kenya is special to me because it's where I came from. Um, I would basically say that even though I've been living in America for almost 20 years now, that Kenya defines who I am, and the way that I see the world, and the way that I experience the world, the way I experience life, um, what I watch, what I don't like all those things come and stem from primarily me being Kenyan. So it's in the core of my heart. Everything else comes from that.
What village does your family come from?
My dad and mom actually come from two different villages, but from the same tribe. My mom comes from Machakos, and my dad comes from Kitui. But I really knew Kitui a lot more, so you kind of go with the dad's side. Yeah.
What do they wear in Kenya?
You get all your clothing you would find here. People wear Nike, Adidas. You got your punk rockers, and you got your football wearing like low shorts kind of people. But then also people that are within their tribe wear what their tribe has always worn. So you get things like there's the native clothing is called kitenge, and it looks like it's really colorful and ornate, and every single piece is handmade for the person. So you know how you guys go to the store and you buy a shirt and it's just a medium. There you actually go get measured, and then they actually get one that fits your body pretty well. So there's kitenges, and then the Maasai people just wear like a cloth like wrap robe thing because they're running, so they need to be loose a lot. So depending on where you are and what your culture is and what your tribe is, you're always going to wear different things. But if you go to Kenya, they'd probably be wearing what you're wearing. In fact, there's probably USA baseball shirts there too.
What type of houses do you find in Kenya?
It's the same thing as America. You really find every single kind of house. You have apartment buildings, you have sky rises, you have houses, you have condos, you have townhouses. But then when you get into the rural areas, where the tribes or the villages are, then you get your huts and all that kind of stuff. So my family, when I was in Kenya, we lived in an apartment building that was like 8 stories high on the 5th floor, and we had the entire 5th floor to ourselves. But then when we go visit my grandma, they had a small house and they had a hut where they cooked. So I experienced both like modern and then a little bit back, what life would have been 100 years ago.
Do boys and girls play sports in Kenya?
Yep. So when I was in Kenya, I did track, but I was only elementary school, so I did track and soccer. It wasn't really for competitive nature. My dad was a track runner, and my mom played field hockey. You get soccer. There's actually Olympians that are doing winter sports now in Kenya, which is very interesting. There's swimming and all that kind of stuff. So the only ones we don't have are like the major American sports. So you're not going to find football there. You're not going to find baseball there. You're not going to find ice hockey there. But you will find like rugby. So it kind of replaces the two.
What has this community through Cornerstone Ministries done to make life better for the village you are from?
So I'm blessed to work in a place that also invests in other places, and they've invested back where my family actually comes from in the town and where my dad comes from in Kitui. And so what they've done is that they've built up the school and the church and provided running water. So previously, like my family always had like a well they could go to, but for those people who were poor and didn't have a well on site, they had to go down to a river, which was disgusting, and the animals would drink out of it, and people would bathe in it using that water, and you'd find all kinds of weird stuff in there and pestilence. And so a lot of the diseases that people would get would be based on the water that they drank. So now that they have good, clean water because Cornerstone drilled a well in the community, there's a lot less sickness going around, which is awesome. And the second thing they did was they built a library in the school and put like a few thousand books in there. And I know people don't like reading these days, but for a kid who never had the chance to read and experience what the outside world is like, they get to understand what Europe is like, in Russia and America, and read awesome stories that you might have read as well. So that's happening now in the community as well. And the third thing is they helped make the church an awesome place where there's a lot of voodoo and animistic religions going on where people still do sacrifices, and so they're being pulled out of the darkness into the light that is, and that's awesome too. So they're not just having a spiritual renewal, but also like an educational, intellectual, and also a physical one. So it's very cool.
Thank you.
No problem.